Hola Wizards, and welcome back to the pursuit of happiness with me, Pigtail Gurl, your friend and fellow traveller. Hope you're all well and enjoying the spectacular as it unfolds. It's a very uppy and downy type of spectacular with many highs and many lows. And actually, lately I've had a song in my head. I don't know if you guys know that song. That was the theme tune for Weeds. I don't know why, but sometimes, things pop into your memory because there's something about what's going on that somehow reminds you of that thing in the past. And there was that song, the theme tune for Weeds. Excuse me if I get the words wrong, but something like, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, and they all look just the same. There's a blue one and a green one and a red one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. I don't know why. Sorry, I probably just butchered that, but I've been remembering this song. I don't know if you know that song, but you can go and look it up. It's kind of a famous old song. I don't even remember what the name of that song is, actually. Little Boxes on the Hillside, maybe. But that song, looking at society and how you have the people who are going through the awakening, but then when you're not going through that awakening, you're in that sort of ticky-tacky world, aren't you? It's like little boxes on the hillside and everybody's made of ticky-tacky, just doing what they're told, right? I think that song was just haunting me recently from my memories. Yeah, so that was a little thing this week for me. But I wanted to talk about some other things today. While I got you here, I had the Nano Soma update. Yes, I wanted to talk about Nano Soma because some of you are asking me about it. I did get some good benefits. I'm still using it. But I have to say, I don't think ultimately, even though I'm a big fan of supplements, I'm a big fan of herbs, I'm a big fan of giving your body good things to become potent, nothing can really undo emotional trauma like doing BodyTalk or some other system like BodyTalk, whatever that may be, to work on emotional trauma. Because even while I was taking Nano Soma, I was still having physical issues. Like, it didn't get rid of the fact I couldn't sleep. It didn't get rid of my anxiety that I was having. There were things that were really affecting my health and my immune system that I noticed when I was on the Nano Soma. I was still suffering quite severely because when I get emotional, this is the thing, I'm a highly strung, sensitive person picking up frequencies all the time. So when it starts to go like this in me, maybe for some people it might be like that, but for me it's like extreme, extreme sensations. Internally, it gets kind of intense. So, I did find it was very good when you applied it to your skin topically. I did find it was very nice in the face and it healed things on the skin. I did feel more energy. I felt more energy. I do feel more energy. I'm still taking it. I like it. I like it as a spray. I intuitively feel like it's something my body wants to take right now, basically. That's how I feel about it. But I have to say, it wasn't like a miracle cure-all yet for me, where just every single thing in my body was fine. But then I did get bed bugs, which is kind of something else I want to talk about, actually. So, like, on it, the Nano Soma can't actually stop the bed bugs. I don't know, maybe it can. But so, yeah, but I still, got very itchy. And even though I sprayed the Nano Soma on it, I still managed to scratch myself to death while I was sleeping, and caused an infection. So anyway, I'm a pretty hard customer because my life's kind of intense. It's why I'm a healer. I can't spend my life down the doctor's office. I've got to be able to take care of my own health, because otherwise I'll be ill for my whole life, because I'm just so sensitive and empathic. It's very hard for me emotionally to keep cleansing everything out, so it just builds up in my system. But when I'm very balanced, I can let it all flow through me, see? And that's why actually supplements and herbs are good. Because when your body is in balance, and you can more easily be in balance, and when you are in balance, your body can be more easily in balance. But those things have to go together. You can't have a body-mind all out of balance and just chucking supplements in it and suddenly it magically goes into balance. I know with Nano Soma they say that it's a spiritual thing too, which is why I liked it. But I have to say, I've been on it this far. So far, I haven't experienced that aspect of it personally. I have experienced its ability to get rid of a fever, I have experienced its ability to get rid of food poisoning. Now that's another thing. Whenever I got like a bad tummy, like bacteria in the belly, a few squirts that, and I was good. I was good. Now I do know that Richard did say though that you have to be on it a long time. It's something that's cumulative as you're on it. But I did notice there was benefits, but I have to say there were other things where I had to use BodyTalk to get rid of it. The supplements just weren't enough for me. That's what I'm saying. The sleep, the sleep deprivation. If something can't get rid of sleep deprivation for you, and the bed bugs just added to it really, what happens is your body just can't heal. So it doesn't even matter if you're taking good vitamins. If your body's not physically sleeping, it just can't do the repair. So I was in this vicious cycle of no sleep. So I just have to say the Nano Soma didn't stop for me that vicious cycle of no sleep. It did have benefits, but because I wasn't sleeping, I guess I wasn't getting the full benefit, which is why I'm happy I'm sleeping better now. Of course, the bed bugs was again just the universe like, you're not sleeping, pigtails, let's send something else to annoy you, right? It's not annoying enough for you at the moment, everything. But this is bringing me to another topic I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about people feeling embarrassed, because I was having a conversation with a friend the other day about bed bugs, and he was mentioning how people can be embarrassed to talk about things like herpes, bed bugs, sexually transmitted disease, if they've got HIV, scabies, crabs. We can have all these things wrong with us, genital warts, bed bugs, nits, fleas, things, humans, and not even just that, even like hepatitis, there's so much stigma around human illness. It's just like, my body felt, as I was saying it, really tense. I just needed to, all this shame and guilt on top of the illness. Oh my God, that we can have to the point where we feel embarrassed to talk about the things that we're going through, that there's some shame attached to just the human condition of life and going through it. There's no shame in any condition that you could have on your body. It's just a sign of something distorted that you went through and some trauma that needs to be released or balanced. It's not something that we should be ashamed of as a society. In fact, that's very negative, because sometimes if your illness is even related to shame and guilt, like STDs often is related to, negative sexual experiences will attract you to get STDs as an example, then obviously shame and guilt is going to make it even worse. Right? So it's very sad that people feel like they can't talk about things, and obviously telling people about your bed bugs is a good idea, so they know to be careful if they come to your house, not to sit on the furniture until you've got it sorted, and then you don't pass the bed bugs on. It's actually a good thing that we don't have stigma around illness. There shouldn't be any stigma. Someone is ill, they need help. They need healing. They don't need to feel embarrassed or ashamed to say a word out loud, to admit they have something. That's just making them more and more ill. Anyone who does BodyTalk will know what I'm saying, because you're always looking at these emotional traumas and these ways that we can just block our own healing, and shame and guilt and all these things, embarrassment, these are energies that block us and get stuck in our emotional assimilation system, right? They just get stuck in different organs, different tissues, all these emotions. So you have to think about this thing. It just really made me think. It's very sad that people feel ashamed or embarrassed to talk about the things they're going through, like having nits. If you've got nits, it's embarrassing. It's something when you were young, people would laugh at you, like, she's got nits. It just means a little insect got onto your hair from something else. That's literally all it means. It wasn't you were a bad person. It wasn't that you were stinky or unclean in any way. It just the little tiny insect was clever enough to get on your hair. It doesn't mean anything more than that. Shouldn't be like a stigma attached to telling someone, because they need to know. Don't put your hand on my hair, please, or don't touch my hair, or you're going to get it jumping onto you. Right? This is a good behaviour. This is social hygiene, where we don't shame each other for having something wrong or make someone feel embarrassed about it. It's through talking about it that we can all share it, heal it, understand it, not pass it around to other people, make other people's lives a misery, and face it, together as a tribe, right? As a tribe. I find it's very odd. No human should have to feel ashamed about what they've been through. It's I can understand if you feel ashamed that you've done something really bad, like a terrible crime. I can imagine you might feel some shame about that, but to be inflicted with an illness, there's really no shame. There's no shame. The only shame is that you feel ashamed about it, really. That's the only shame. Because how are you ever going to get any help, right? And another thing, like mental health disorders, all these things, there can be so much stigma attached to it. And it just makes it, it makes it harder when the communication isn't happening. Like in body minds, everything has to be communicating openly for it to work. This is your crown, that's your sovereignty. This is your govern, you're governing your ment, right? When you're sovereign, you govern your own ment, and it sits the crown on your system, and this system is yours to control. That's your divine body mind, right? Just had to editing it in now. So yeah, so you've got this complete body mind, and the way it works, the crown is on the top, but everything has to communicate. It's communicating in a trickled down fashion. The physical body sort of grows up and out, but the consciousness is trickled down through the crown, which is on your head. And within that system, everything has to be communicating for it to be optimum health. 100% health means everything is communicating correctly. What blocks communication more than shame, guilt, embarrassment? How is that going to ever bring any healing? This is what I keep trying to explain to people who think Western medicine is just like the be-all and end-all of health. It's not really. All it is some chemicals. The be-all and end-all of health is you have to understand all the different aspects of it. And if you don't understand the communication, the emotional level, spiritual, mind, all these different levels, body, energetically, all these different levels. If you don't understand the connection, how everything's communicating, how are you ever going to treat it? You can't treat that with a chemical medicine. That can't be treated. And this is like going a little bit into my talk about supplements. Yes, I endorse very nice ones that I feel are clean and good, like Nano Soma. Did bring me some benefits. C60, love it. But that to me is not the be all and end all of my healing. My healing is all about this consciousness that trickles down, because without adjusting that and opening up full communication in my body, it doesn't matter what I do. If the body's not communicating, I can't make it heal. And that's why then you have to cut out bits, right? You have to cut it out, sew it up, snip it, all this stuff. And then that's causing even less of a communication, more of a communication breakdown. And this is what people are told is health, right? BodyTalk works, and it's not just me just going on about BodyTalk. I talk about it because it's like flipping amazing and like next level shit. That's why I get so excited about it. You're talking to the consciousness, and all these things in the body, you're just opening it up. So you don't need to go in there and cut stuff out, and snip it, because you're going to get that liver talking again to that heart, or that gland in the brain, or there's that cold spot, or there's some trauma in there, or the skeletal system is not communicating with your organs properly. There's so many things that could be addressed. It could be a bad memory from when you were a child and you saw something horrific on the TV, and that set you off on a journey towards depression or sadness or something. There's so many reasons to ill health. And what do you do when you go to a doctor? There's a prescription, here's a label, that's you in your box, and here's your box of pills to go with it. Another happy customer. There's no looking at anything other than that. Now, obviously, they've got the mind doctors, right? You go to the psychologist, psychiatrist, but they've split it all up into different sections. And obviously, there's no spiritual stuff in there, or no energetic stuff, really. There's none of the, energy medicine really incorporated into Western medicine. Maybe you might find a bit of Reiki, but that's like low end. BodyTalk is much better than Reiki. And I wish I'd found BodyTalk instead of Reiki when I was 22, when I got my Reiki training going. I was so excited about it, but actually I wish I'd found BodyTalk back then. And it did exist, but I just didn't hear about it, because I'd much rather have spent my time and energy learning that than Reiki, to be honest. Reiki's nice, but it didn't really do a whole lot for me either. It didn't cure me of anything. Just it helped me with first aid. And yeah, I did heal a few people that felt like they had dramatic healings from me, but then I've always been cleaning my body out. So if I get attuned to Reiki, you're going to still get the pure energy of the work I've done going through the healing, right? But personally, it's like I've already got that vibe in me. I need something else, and the Reiki actually wasn't doing it for me, right? So I found BodyTalk, because it's treating illness from this energy level. That's why you can't have censorship, guilt, shame, mustn't be said, I feel embarrassed, can't talk about that, stigma, social outcast. You can't have any of those things in the holistic method of healing, because they will just only cause more disease, basically. And we can look at this on the personal level and the social level as well, my darlings. So I hope all that made sense. I didn't just ramble on and on and on. I will love you and leave you. Have a lovely weekend, week, whatever it is you're doing. And I will see you on the next episode of The Pursuit of Happiness. One love.